right now? Head over to Qnotables.com. It's a centralized index of notable clips, headlines, and references being shared across the community, organized for quick browsing. Use it to spot patterns, pull links, and build your own research list. Qnotables.com. Browse the notables, verify the facts, stay informed. All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Board's February 10, 2026, a draft federal statement announcing Jeffrey Epstein's death is circulating from newly released case files, and the document is dated August 9, 2019, one day before Epstein was found dead on August 10th. The document reads like a prepared announcement and is now fueling questions about how the paperwork was handled and why the date appears early. More Epstein-related material is surging again as additional documents, emails, and photos tied to the broader records release continue spreading online. The new wave is driving renewed public pressure over redactions, withheld names, and what the full scope of the Epstein network may have been. Posts are circulating that Epstein was spotted living in Colorado years after his reported death. The claim is being shared widely across multiple channels and is now being folded into the growing list of unanswered questions surrounding the Epstein case. In Norway, lawyer Kåre Idar Moljord has stepped down from a leadership role tied to the Financial Supervisory Appeals Board after attention from newly circulating Epstein-related revelations. Norwegian legal reporting says Moljord cited concerns about outside issues impacting the board's credibility and reputation. A set of viral posts is focusing on what's being called a light and dark tree behind Ghislaine Maxwell in a widely shared image connected to the Epstein file discussions. The image is being treated online as symbolic, with users arguing it reflects a deeper message embedded in plain sight. A new round of attention is also hitting entertainment, blind item blogs, and aggregators pushing fresh claims about an Epstein elite. The posts are spreading rapidly again as audiences connect them to current document releases and the renewed push for full disclosure. Posts are linking the Maxwell case to Bitcoin narratives, including a viral claim about an Epstein email referencing Satoshi and a Project Bitcoin. The Bitcoin angle is now being circulated as part of a broader financial control narrative tied to Epstein's contacts and influence. Naomi Campbell is being discussed again in connection with Epstein after newly circulated file material renewed interest in her past social proximity to Epstein-linked circles. Campbell has denied wrongdoing and said she was unaware of Epstein's crimes at the time. Posts are recirculating Q references to Virginia Giuffre, with supporters presenting it as validation. Giuffre remains one of the most well-known Epstein survivors, and her allegations played a central role in civil litigation and the broader public exposure of the case. A recurring point online is that nobody is talking about the boys, referring to male victims. The claim is driving renewed discussion about who gets media attention in trafficking cases and how many victims may have been ignored or erased from public view. Older blind item posts titled around the island are being resurfaced and reposted as if they were confirmations. The posts are being presented as early warnings that, according to supporters, describe the Epstein operation long before the public story broke wide open. Another older blind item Danger 8 entry, dated May 20th, 2018, is circulating the same way, with users treating it as a receipt. The post is being widely shared again as audiences comb back through older internet material looking for early signals. A blind item post claiming Kevin Spacey blamed conduct on being drunk and gay is also resurfacing, tied to broader resurfaced allegations and the public relitigation of celebrity abuse scandals. The post is being circulated as part of the renewed elite accountability push online. A clip circulating online claims you can hear fear in Bill Maher's voice as he discusses Epstein file implications. The segment is spreading as viewers argue even mainstream figures are now reacting differently as the Epstein file discussion escalates. In Australia, prominent Sydney barrister Mark Dennis has been reported found dead after being charged with child abuse material offenses. Police reporting says a coroner file is being prepared, and the case drew major attention because of Dennis's high-profile legal career. A pro-Trump style statement is circulating with the message that the momentum is unstoppable, urging supporters not to panic and claiming America is entering a new phase of victories. The message is being shared as morale-boosting political mobilization across pro-Trump channels. Andy Ngo posted that a driver fired a BB gun at right-wing live streamers outside the ICE facility in Portland, describing a white Lexus sedan with Oregon plates. The post is being shared as part of a broader pattern of escalating street-level political targeting. Posts from Elenocle claim even skeptics are now saying it out loud. Q was right. The narrative is spreading as supporters argue multiple long-running claims are now converging into a single storyline. A Jimmy Dore segment is spreading again that links vaccines, autism, and broader medical corruption theories. The segment is being widely reposted as part of the renewed demand for deeper investigations into pharmaceutical influence and government health agencies. Reporting says the director of the National Institutes of Health discussed a shortage of high-quality research in key areas tied to autism questions, while also stating the agency is funding work aimed at determining root causes. The comments are now being used as a flashpoint in the national vaccine and autism debate. A theory post tying Bitcoin to unrelated figures and a fake news narrative is circulating across multiple channels. The post is being framed as part of a larger effort to map out hidden coordination, financial leverage, and media manipulation tied to high-profile cases. Streamer Asmongold has posted reaction content on Epstein and Maxwell-related headlines, adding fuel to the broader online discussion. The clips are now spreading across platforms as commentary channels amplify public anger and demands for disclosure. Online speculation is circulating that Jeffrey Epstein's network connects to Alice in Wonderland, CERN, quantum computing, and antimatter. The theory is being pushed as a larger narrative linking elite networks to advanced technology, secrecy, and high-level research institutions. A phrase being shared as Epstein Hi-Fi is circulating again, tied to clips and memes being reposted alongside the broader Epstein records discussion. The phrase is being used as a shorthand reference inside the wider online narrative.
At shop.isitwaya.com, everything you buy supports Acun.top, the place where people talk freely no matter what. Check out our Acun Honey Pot, a jar of yummy honey that's as strong as your voice. Put it on toaster and tea. It's not just honey, it's freedom in every bite. Then there's Acun Butter, a smooth handmade skin cream that makes you feel good while you fight for what's right. Awesome wood and pieces for display only. Hang them up or set them out. They're for showing off Acun's tough spirit. Want to help even more? Get a proto membership. So go to shop.isitwaya.com now and grab some goodies. Help Acun.top keep free speech alive, and let's keep the ideas flowing loud and free.
All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Board's February 10, 2026, U.S. and Israeli officials are preparing for a moved-up high-stakes meeting between President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Reporting says the visit was accelerated and the agenda is expected to focus on Iran and regional security issues, with Gaza also expected to be discussed. Federal prosecutors in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania say a Department of Defense employee has been indicted for moonlighting as a money mule, moving and laundering millions of dollars tied to overseas scam networks. The Justice Department says the scheme involved financial transfers designed to conceal scam proceeds. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani has signed an executive order tightening sanctuary policy enforcement, including limits on ICE access to city property without a judicial warrant. Supporters say it protects residents and services, while critics say it interferes with federal enforcement. In the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is facing intensifying political pressure tied to fallout from Epstein-related revelations and the broader Mandelson controversy. Reporting says senior figures have called for resignation, and key aides have stepped down as the crisis deepens. Retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn posted a sharp condemnation online, using the phrase "pure demons" as political messaging tied to current controversies. The The post is spreading widely as supporters frame it as a blunt warning about the people and systems being exposed. Black Buckets is being pushed online as a claimed detail tied to Epstein narratives, spreading through clips, reposts, and discussion threads. The phrase is now being used as a recurring marker inside the larger Epstein discussion. Tara Reade has alleged the Department of Justice deleted Epstein-related emails to protect former President Joe Biden. The allegation is spreading widely online as part of the broader cover-up narrative surrounding Epstein. A resurfaced Andrew Breitbart quote aimed at John Podesta is circulating again, with users reposting it as a blunt warning and a signal of long-running political conflict. The quote is being used as a rallying line inside the broader elite accountability discussion. Representatives Thomas Massie and Khanna held a press briefing after viewing unredacted Epstein-related material. The lawmakers said the material raised serious questions and renewed calls for transparency around what remains hidden in the Epstein files. Claims are circulating that an Anthony Weiner life insurance file triggered an FBI investigation into the Clinton Foundation. The claim is being reposted as part of a larger narrative linking past scandals to the current Epstein disclosure battle. Reporting on newly discussed FBI interview material says Donald Trump contacted the Palm Beach police chief in 2006 regarding Jeffrey Epstein. The reporting says Trump praised the investigation and described Ghislaine Maxwell in harsh terms, calling her evil and labeling her Epstein's operative. A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration's attempt to freeze childcare funding, with reporting describing billions preserved for New York as part of a wider national dispute. The ruling keeps funds in place while the case moves forward. President Trump is threatening to block the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge linking Detroit and Windsor, demanding negotiations and arguing the U.S. gets nothing from the deal. The dispute is now drawing attention to trade policy, infrastructure leverage, and cross-border power dynamics. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says the SAVE Act would disenfranchise over 21 million Americans and is urging the Senate to reject it. Supporters call it a voter eligibility safeguard, while opponents call it a major restriction on lawful voters. Commentary is circulating that a recent Trump retruth controversy is connected to alleged plans to rig the 2026 midterms. The narrative is spreading as users argue the fight is not about memes, but about exposure of election manipulation efforts. In Australia, author Lauren Mastrosa has been found guilty of creating child abuse material tied to her erotic novel, Daddy's Little Toy. The conviction is drawing international attention because the case centers on written content and the legal line between fiction and criminal material. CIA Director John Ratcliffe has announced a new acquisition framework designed to speed the CIA's ability to collaborate with U.S. commercial partners and harness private sector innovation. The move is being framed as a modernization push to shorten procurement timelines and accelerate mission capabilities. Reporting says a group linked to Abu Dhabi royal Sheikh Tahnoon bin Zayed backed a deal for a 49% stake in the Trump crypto venture World Liberty Financial, reportedly valued around $500 million. The story is driving a major new wave of debate over foreign influence, financial leverage, and the future of U.S. crypto politics. President Trump is criticizing the Gordie Howe International Bridge project linking Ontario and Michigan, arguing the project used little to no U.S. content and pointing to waivers tied to Buy American rules. The statement is igniting a fresh fight over trade, steel, and who benefits from cross-border megaprojects. Vice President J.D. Vance met with Armenia's prime minister in a publicly recorded session, with both sides describing it as official diplomacy. The meeting focused on bilateral relations and regional security, as Washington continues shaping its posture in the Caucasus. U.S. Southern Command says U.S. military forces are deployed to the Caribbean to disrupt illicit drug trafficking and protect the homeland. The mission is being described as an aggressive interdiction push targeting smuggling routes and transnational criminal networks. Prosecutors have moved to dismiss Steve Bannon's Jan Barrett's criminal contempt of Congress case, ending that courtroom fight. The dismissal is being cited as a major legal win for Bannon and a political flashpoint for both sides of the Jan. 6. Debate. A Minnesota fraud whistleblower says lawmakers ignored warnings for years as massive losses piled up. The story is fueling a new round of outrage as state leaders face questions over oversight failures and accountability.
Every voice matters. The power of free speech is more important than ever. Imagine a place where you can share your thoughts freely, explore new ideas, and engage in meaningful conversations anonymously. With online anonymity, you can express yourself without fear of judgment. It's about freedom, creativity, and connection. Join the conversation that matters. Embrace your voice. Celebrate your freedom. Visit 8kun.top today. That's 8kun.top.
All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Board's February 10, 2026 at Marine Corps Recruit Depot Paris Island, new recruits are meeting their drill instructors and beginning early phases of training. The Marine Corps is highlighting the footage as a look inside the discipline, intensity, and culture that defines the start of Marine training. First Lady Melania Trump's full radio interview on The Brian Kilmeade Show has been released, with the First Lady discussing her current priorities in public work. The interview is being shared widely as part of her renewed public visibility. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries held a news conference amid a high-stakes political showdown in Washington. Jeffries used the moment to attack Republican election proposals and position Democrats as the firewall against what he called a major shift in American governance. In North Carolina, video is circulating that shows Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden struggling to answer basic questions about the three branches of government. The clip is going viral and sparking renewed criticism over competence and leadership in law enforcement. Israel has approved a policy overhaul that tightens its control over the West Bank. The move is being described as a major escalation in governance changes and is drawing international condemnation as the conflict continues to intensify. Iran says it could dilute its highly enriched uranium if all sanctions are lifted, signaling a conditional path forward in nuclear negotiations. The statement comes as pressure builds for a new diplomatic round and global leaders watch for the next move. The U.S. has seized the Shadow Fleet tanker Aquila II in the Indian Ocean after a 10,000-mile pursuit. The move is being framed as a major escalation in maritime enforcement against sanctions evasion and illicit oil networks. A court has blocked a law that would have banned federal agents from wearing masks to protect their identities. The ruling is now being cited in the growing battle over federal enforcement tactics, protests, and public accountability. A UK banking alert is spreading after reports that Barclays systems went down, disrupting services for customers. The outage is fueling public frustration as banking disruptions continue hitting major institutions. The push to pass the SAVE Act is accelerating, with supporters calling it a major election integrity safeguard. The bill centers on requiring proof of citizenship for voter registration, and it is becoming a major fight line heading into the next election cycle. A Democrat Muslim Palestinian woman has announced she is running for governor of Georgia, launching a historic and highly watched campaign. The announcement is already drawing national attention and reshaping the early 2026 political landscape. Reports say more migrants have arrived in Britain under Prime Minister Keir Starmer than under any other modern British leader, with hundreds landing over the weekend. The issue is rapidly becoming one of the defining political pressures on Starmer's government. A group of monks walking across the United States for peace was welcomed into Arlington, Virginia, as part of a long-distance public journey. The event drew local attention as the group continues toward major public appearances near Washington. A viral claim is spreading about a $5.1 trillion school district bond fraud described as an ultimate house of cards. The story is being pushed as a financial scandal that could dwarf the 2008 crisis, and it is now circulating widely across alternative media. Norway has charged a former ambassador and her husband with corruption after she resigned amid Epstein-related implications. The case is now being watched closely as European authorities pursue financial crime angles tied to elite networks. A photo is circulating online that Elon Musk describes as a real selfie showing Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein together. The image is being used as another flashpoint in the broader fight over who was connected to Epstein and who is now being protected. Posts and clips tagged G. Maxwell dark to light are spreading again as Maxwell's case is pulled back into the center of the Epstein disclosure storm. The narrative is being pushed as a sign that a larger exposure phase is underway. The White House has launched a new email subscription push, encouraging Americans to sign up for direct updates. The move is being framed as part of a wider strategy to control messaging and bypass legacy media filters. A viral claim is spreading that Epstein survivors held back from naming abusers because of legal threats, and that Elon Musk offered to pay their legal fees. The claim is being shared as part of renewed public anger over how accountability has been delayed for years. Newly released video from the Brown University shooting shows chaos and terror after the fatal attack. The footage is being shared as investigators and the public continue demanding answers about security and response timelines. In Australia, protesters rallied against the government for hosting Israeli President Isaac Herzog, with major crowds taking to the streets. The protests have escalated into a wider political flashpoint across the country. Online discussion is claiming something changed in the Savannah Guthrie case after a new video emerged. The posts are spreading rapidly as viewers analyze the footage and argue it shifts the narrative. Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev is calling for UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer to resign, tying the demand to a scandal narrative now spreading internationally. The statement is being circulated as pressure mounts on Starmer's leadership. A wave of memes is circulating across social media, with users framing them as the signal layer riding on top of today's political and cultural conflict. The meme flood is being treated by supporters as a form of messaging, coordination, and narrative warfare.
Don't delete me bro.com. 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 Share the site with others. Don't delete me bro.com. Don't delete me bro.com. Don't delete me bro.com. Share the site with others. Don't delete me bro.com.
That's all for now. Stay alert, stay informed, and never hand your thinking over to anyone on a screen, including me. God bless you, God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America. See you soon.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Or when you turn on your television, you can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.